Never underestimate the power of
Alan!
This is my first YouTube specific video. Hello YouTube. Today I'll talk about the patch 11.19 changes. A lot of top laners got changed, so I asked you if you wanted to know if it would impact the matchup. And I decided, sure, I'll make a video about it. In each video, since it's gonna be small changes, I'm less gonna talk about the exact change and more about how you should approach and change the matchup. For example, here you can see Aatrox's W cooldown got buffed by 6 seconds in the early game, which is actually a massive buff, and it will actually change the way the Teemo matchup works. Because a lot of the time, especially against worse Aatroxes, they're just gonna throw W out randomly, right? And when they throw it out, what you're probably not doing is you should be abusing the shit out of that. Because the big problem with Aatrox in the early game is his extremely long cooldowns and not so high base damage. The only way you can lose the matchup before level 6 is if he lands a W on you. And now that it's actually 6 seconds shorter, it's gonna be a lot easier for him. A lot of the time I will actually have to mentally adjust a lot. A lot of the time when Aatrox would miss his W, in the next 30 seconds I just not let him CS. As soon as he misses that, he has no way of landing a long combo. So he's not allowed to miss it. And now this 6 seconds is gonna actually have a lot of impact, and you should be a lot more respectful. Like you should try to adapt to that as soon as possible, because dodging the W before your swiftness boots is like the main way matchup works. Akali gets barely some more health regen. I don't think it's gonna impact matchup. Cho'gath's Q getting a buff is actually also quite kinda massive, because Cho'gath, the way he works is either he goes tank, and a lot of the time in the early game he can just Q the wave while you zone him and still get CS. So this way he's probably gonna be getting even more CS, and also he's gonna be able to set up more ganks. A lot of the time you might play really passively, and then suddenly a gank comes, and if you get ruptured, silenced, you're usually instantly dead. So once again, like Aatrox, you should be careful. And you should adapt to the timer as soon as possible. Okay, Fizz, we never see him top lane. Galio, I don't care. Gragas. Higher AP scaling. Once again, like, I'm starting to notice like a trend in these changes. Like, they're not doing too big changes. So once again, like, these numbers, they barely changed. They gave him slightly more, 10% more AP scaling. You guys should not treat the Gragas matchup any differently. If he could win an all-in before that, he's probably still gonna win it. We counter Gwen so hard that her getting more health regen is not relevant. Kennen losing damage on the Q is actually really massive. After they buffed Kennen, the matchup actually got quite a bit harder because the Q would chunk you so hard. Now that they removed that again, I think the Kennen matchup is gonna get significantly easier, because even if he lands the Q on you, it's gonna hurt less. And in high elo, the best Kennens, they can set up stun combos to land Q on you 2 or 3 times. So I think the Kennen matchup, I used to always think that it was really easy, then he got buffed and became a bit harder, but now if you just go 1 null magic mental, it should be easy. Okay, I'm noticing a trend there. They're lowering the cooldowns of a lot of really important spells. So this is actually quite problematic for Teemo. For example, Mordekaiser E is exactly like Aatrox W. As soon as he misses it, he doesn't have anything to hurt you anymore. Especially Mordekaiser is even more simple, right? The only way for him to play at range is his E and Q, so as soon as he used it, you basically have 10 free seconds. So once again, this can be a bit scary. Him getting it up earlier, you need to be careful that you time it right and you don't just let him E you at an unfortunate spot. Poppy, now this change, I feel like it doesn't matter that much, but Poppy's change, I think it matters just as much as the Kennen change. the 3 seconds on the Poppy Q, Poppy passive, is quite massive, because Poppy, if she's played correctly, can be a quite difficult matchup, because she can throw her passive with grasp at you at the correct times. So, wow, this might actually change how the matchup works. If she can get her passive up that often. Yeah, so one thing you need to be careful about with Poppy is that often she can E a minion, then passive auto also a minion, so she's next to you with a shield, and after she Qs and ults you, she could actually one-shot you. So once again, it's just another thing you need to be careful of. You don't want to be trading an auto attack for her passive. So you should always kite back if she's running at you. Base health. Wait, they're buffing him. What? They're buffing him? Oh no. Okay, I think this is the biggest, for sure the biggest buff of the patch so far. Okay, this might actually make it might not look that much, but let's say at level 6, 50 more HP, 5 more HP, 5 times 6, 45 more HP. That's a whole level. I mean, yeah, 45 more HP at level 6. That is really bad, especially with the next change, where how it would work usually is that you Q Renekton and he W's you and he's still stuck in the animation. He's stuck in the animation, but it doesn't actually stun you, so he's like stuck on place. Now that he's not stuck on the spot anymore after you blinded him, he can actually keep running at you, because a lot of the time, the way oh shit, I fucked up the video. Let's move it to the top again. Ah, god. Okay, the way Renekton works is he presses ult at level 6 and then he runs you down. Now that he has more HP and he is not stuck in his W animation, this is actually kind of difficult. Like with Gore Drinker, I think a lot of the times you just don't have enough stats to kill him. I'll have to watch it, but I think Renekton matchup might have gotten a lot harder. Like, he can just force and engage, and with old Gore Drinker, he has so many stats. I think the Renekton matchup might become quite difficult if the Renekton is good. But in Challenger and stuff, I feel like I'm gonna get Dovin a lot. Rise Nerf's really good. He's one of the best Teemo counters, and these lowered cooldowns and values are actually really massive. I think this might actually help the Teemo matchup quite a bit. Because if he can't perma clear the wave and shove you in that much, then usually in a Rise matchup you want to be pushing him in so that he's using all his mana on the wave and he's not poking you down. I just hope I don't get the Sejuani top, because Sejuani with Anathema's Chains top lane, he's actually so tanky and can just run you down that I just hope this doesn't make anyone pick Sejuani top lane. Seju top seems like a hard lane. I don't know why they're buffing Seraphine. Seraphine is quite broken and they're buffing her. I don't get it. Increase Science Shield. Okay, they're only buffing it by 10 HP. Yeah, this is whatever.
Never underestimate the power of the Scout's Code. 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 2, 3, 4. Scouts Code. Code. 2, 3, 4. Yes, sir.